I'm a diehard Superman fan. I have been for 20 years, and I saw the latest Superman film and I have some thoughts. This is not going to be spoiler free because I cannot help myself. Things will slip out of my mouth that I can't control. So if you're waiting to see the film or you don't want any spoilers, don't watch this. Come back and watch it once you've seen it. But this is my first video without a script, without any kind of guideline. I just want to have a brain dump of my thoughts of Superman. If you're new to my channel, hello, my name is Cassidy Krieger. This place is usually a place for old Hollywood. We talk about all old Hollywood films and the stars, but if you watch my previous video about the 1978 Superman, you will know that I'm a diehard Superman fan, especially of the 1978 Christopher Reeve version, Richard Donner, Margot Kidder. So Superman has a very, very special place in my heart, and I had to rush out and see the latest film because, well, I just had to. I'm excited and I want to support Superman. I feel like Superman's been such a neglected superhero for so long. So I was hoping that this Superman would kind of live up to expectations. So let's chat about if it did or not. For those that don't know, this latest Superman was released in July 2025 and directed by James Gunn. And we have a really stellar cast. David Corenswet plays Superman. Rachel Brosnahan plays Lois Lane. One of my favourite actors of all time, Nicholas Hoult, plays Lex Luthor. And so I went into this really excited and nervous as well because I have such high expectations. Nothing will ever beat watching this Superman for the first time when I was 11 on a small box TV in 2006. Nothing will ever beat that feeling, but I'm always trying to find that feeling again. So I went into this excited but nervous, and I feel like it's been a day now. When the film finished, I felt, I don't know, I feel like because I have such high expectations, I felt like some things weren't there that I wanted, but that's just my own personal opinion. But I have to say that David Corenswet is the perfect Superman. I think he is perfection. So the Supermans that I love the best is this one and Smallville. I watched Smallville more times than I can count. So that's kind of the lore and the world that I love the most and explore the most. So I was interested in this world and this David Corenswet, who played Superman. He had that comical lightness, the corniness of Superman that I think's been missing the past couple of years, especially with Man of Steel, which was so dark. And I only saw Man of Steel once. I was so excited to see it when it came out in 2013. I was like, yes, a new Superman, a new way to love Superman. I was so excited, and I went to the cinema like the day it opened, and I was like, this is horrible. And I know people are passionate about Snyderverse and they're passionate about what he did with Man of Steel and Henry Cavill, who looked the part. I felt like this Superman was paying homage and respect to what's been done before, but in a new world for a new audience. The little things like using the original John Williams score, but kind of rehashing it for a new audience. I loved that. I loved that Lex Luthor had Otis, and he had Otis in the Superman 1978, and Miss Tessmacher, I can never say that name. That's in respect to the Superman film. So there was little things like that. I'm like, yes. And even the closing credits were a nod to the Superman film. So there was things like that that I really, really, really loved. The things that I didn't love, I was sad that there wasn't so much Daily Planet, Clark Kent sort of thing. And I think because it dropped us into the world, which I love that it wasn't an origin story. We've seen origin stories so many times in Superman. I mean, how many times can we see them? So I love that, but I felt like we were dropped into like a mid-season of a TV show, and I really missed the kind of Clark Kent, Lois Lane, Superman love triangle sort of will they, won't they, does she know, doesn't she know? And I feel like we missed out on the reveal, and how did she find out? And when do they get together, and why do they get together, and all these things that kind of made Superman so juicy, and the chemistry between them. And they had great chemistry, Rachel and David, but I feel like it wasn't explored to the fullest. And like I said, I loved the Daily Planet stuff. That's what I love in Superman. That's what I love in Superman Returns and in Smallville. So I missed that. I hope that if there's another Superman, if there's a Superman 2, that maybe they explore that a little bit more, because I'm so glad we had a good Jimmy Olsen, we had a great Perry White, we even had Cat Grant. I love that, and I wish that was explored a little bit more. And I didn't love, this is a massive spoiler, that they made Jor-El send Kal-El to Earth with bad intention. So Lex was able to find out that Jor-El actually sent Superman, Kal-El, his son, to Earth to destroy humanity. And I was like, oh no, that's not what I like. That's not true. I understand for character purposes how it rocks and shakes Superman, Kal-El, Clark, but I don't know if I like it. And I think I need to rewatch it again to maybe fully understand why James Gunn made that decision. But yeah, the highlight for me was Mr. Terrific. I was so pleasantly surprised to see Eddie Gathegi, who I'm a Twilight fan from way back. So he was in the Twilight film, and he actually came out. So I live in a small town in Australia, and he actually came out to my small town in 2009, did a meet and greet, and I lined up for hours. I called it the best day of my life. I was 14. And it was so great seeing him back on the big screen, because I always thought he had something really special about him, and his portrayal of Mr. Terrific, I think it was the highlight for me. The scene where he's taking Lois and to save Superman. And that's another thing I loved about this. See, I get so sidetracked, that for the first time, Lois Lane didn't need saving once. In fact, she went and saved him. And when she was interviewing him for the first time, it wasn't like laced with sexual connotations, and she was just so in awe of this man that she was actually a proper journalist, and she questioned him hard to the point where he was like, I'm out, I can't, like he had to stop. I love that about this Lois Lane, that she was feminist and she did not need saving, and she was a great journalist, and it did not stop her, like her love for this man and her attraction to this man did not stop her from being a great journalist. So I loved that. For the first time, Lois Lane didn't need saving, she actually saved him. Back to Mr. Terrific, when he takes Lois to save Superman from the Pocket Universe, and he's fighting all of those evil Lex people. That scene was just, I think it was just the best. The song, the action, it was amazing. So I really hope that there's more Mr. Terrific in the future, and that Eddie keeps growing and keeps shining, because it was just so wonderful to see. He was definitely the standout for me. It's so good. And the more I think about it, the more I really did enjoy it. When it finished, I was like, huh. But now I'm thinking about it more and more. I really love this universe that I think James Gunn is going to create for us. We've got Supergirl coming up. And like I said, I'm not a real superhero fan. Like for me, Superman is kind of it. But I'm really excited to see what he does, because it feels fun, even though the messages of this are very serious, and there were some really serious topics brought up that were very relatable to life today. It still felt fun and good and full of hope. So much hope. And that final scene where Superman is watching his adopted parents, and the goodness that the Kents represent was everything. So make sure you go see Superman, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and make sure you leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.